this week on the Bubble Chat.
I don't think he should be teaching right now. Hopefully he'll he'll recuperate in the hospital.
First of all, she's Cardi B. Second of all, just because she is a millionaire, a multi-millionaire, she's still a human being. And she's dealing with Offset.
Seeing more resurface, especially with her show being canceled.
Years ago, I had a plan. And, I was in...
They need to check backpacks and stuff when kids come to school.
She looked, oh my God, she was bad. If you didn't go into school to save those babies, try to save those babies. It was your job to send some people in there to save them babies.
Wow, where have I been for the past few months? Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Bubble Chat. Crazy to say, this show has been MIA for so long, with this new year here with us, we just have to bring it back however we can. And of course, we have some new additions, starting off with the new cover art and logo. We hope you like them. I figure if I'm going to bring the podcast back, why not make a new logo? And you may have noticed, but we have two new co-hosts joining along. Our first one, you may have known her as a comedian at Tommy T's, and you also may know her as Girl from May Valentine, Little Big Girl, and Henny Vazier. Henny Vazier. Please welcome the very talented Shay Sugar.
Oh my God, thank you for that amazing introduction, Joanne. Yes, I am comedian Shay Sugar. I'm very happy to be a part of this podcast, Bubble Chats. What I like most about it is the different personalities between Joanne and I. The Wandering Eye and I we're pretty similar as far as age and wit. But Joanne, you bring such an amazing, what can I say? You bring such this je ne sais quoi kind of thing to the table, and I appreciate that. So I'm excited.
All righty, I'm excited as well. And our next co-host, most of you may have known her. You may have seen her speak in some videos, and she's also in the process of working on a book that will hopefully be released sometime next year or so. But we'll just see how it goes. Please welcome the very talented Eve, the Wandering Eye.
Hi. So my name is Eve, and
she goes by the Wandering Eye, which I really like. Woo, we done got started all up already.
I'm sorry, nephew. I have the giggles right now.
It's okay.
So my name is Eve. I am a daughter, mother, wife. I am currently working on a book, and yeah, that's about it.
All righty.
She's a writer, a creator, a makeup artist, professional makeup artist, stylist.
You can't tell tonight.
And all of the above, honey.
And I also feel like maybe I'm the Leaning Tower of Richmond, because whenever I'm on this podcast, I just feel like I have like a lean to it, rock with it. Yes.
Richmond.
All day, every day.
Boom, that part. And not Virginia, California.
West Side.
That part.
Okay. Alrighty. With that being said, for those of you who have been patient with me, thank you all so much for bearing with me. Let's just say I had a very rough past 2 months. Long story short, my motivation to keep this podcast going was lacking, and I just felt burnt out. But after a lot of reflecting on needing much of a wake-up call, especially with this big new year already here. I just feel like this is a new start, a new beginning. And honestly, it's like the first episode of this podcast again. With that reason, I'm filled with gratitude for you guys for not forgetting about this podcast. And while it's on MIA, the podcast already has 200 downloads, and I just appreciate you all so much for still supporting the show while it's on MIA, while it was on MIA. I feel like I said MIA too many times. I think I can say while the show was on hiatus. Either way, we still thank you so much for still supporting the show, and I of course thank you all so much for sticking with me through this journey. As many of you know, podcasting has been one of my other passions throughout my journey. I have been learning a lot throughout this journey, and I'm still going to keep learning and just keep getting better at this process. As always, we would really appreciate it if you subscribe to this podcast and click on the notification bell so you can stay updated on when we usually upload our episodes. And also, I forgot to mention, if this is your first time listening, we welcome you to the Bubble Chat, and we hope you enjoy it. With that being said, let's get started with today's topics, because I feel like most people just came to the show for the topics, and they're already like, hurry up, I don't have all day. With that being said, let's just get started. Up first, an art teacher from New Jersey was arrested in front of his students at a Westfield school. NBC News claimed that the teacher was charged this past Tuesday with possession of a controlled dangerous substance of I hope I said that right, and endangering the welfare of children with an incident back in November. According to the Westfield Police report, the art teacher has been found unconscious and unresponsive on a classroom floor, while police said that he was discovered and treated by a school nurse. It has been reported by authorities that the school resource officer searched signs of including signs of improvement were shown by the teacher. Investigators found fentanyl along with various drug items afterwards. Superintendent Raymond Gonzalez said in a statement, while the Westfield Public School District cannot comment on personal matters which are confidential, we will maintain and continue to focus on student and staff safety and on preserving the integrity of the classroom learning environment. As of now, it's unknown whether the art teacher will continue to be employed by the Westfield Public School District. So, ladies, what are your thoughts on this crazy situation, and do you think that this teacher should keep his job at that school?
So, first and foremost, if I taught middle school children, I'd probably be, because everyone knows middle school kids, they bad. I mean, they are really, really, really bad. They are, I want to take it back to the 1930s when people, I don't condone violence on children. It is 2023, but back in the 1930s, it's a shoe or a belt. But moving along, if I was a middle school teacher, I'd probably be because that's the only way I could cope with it. But I am not a middle school teacher. I don't do so, and as a parent of 3 children who are adults now, I would not want a teacher partaking in whilst on the clock, while teaching my kids. So definitely, let me say this. I don't think he should be teaching right now. Hopefully he'll recuperate in the hospital or a rehab program and get himself together, because at the end of the day, when you have an addiction, it is a medical issue. And so if someone had some other issue, we wouldn't, there's some type of protection against them. And so I hope he gets the help he needs. But yeah, that's pretty scary to have someone in front of your kids.
Yes, and I think what I also want to say about this also is I think that they need to, after this incident, they need to have like a sort of meaning to educate the kids in the school, like they need to have, they need to educate the kids about why it's not okay and why you shouldn't even bring into school. I remember I remember back in, I remember, I remember when I had health class once in a while, I was educated, um, uh, and that reminded myself that I don't want to risk my life being, and I just understand why. And nowadays, I need health class because back when I was in the fifth grade, I didn't want to take a health class. I just want to take PE, but they have it anyway, But yeah, I think he just needs to be clean and one really, really clean because you honestly cannot teach at a job high as a kite.
Well, can I tell you how I feel about it?
Sure, I can.
Shout out goes to all of the dedicated, sober teachers with these kids, because I definitely agree with the wandering eye, Miss E. But they are people who were born to deal with these children. There's a lot of kids, like I watch a lot of TikToks and Instagram on these kids in class, they cussing, they throwing stuff, they doing a lot. These kids are off the chain. They're off the chain. And I'm not condoning that he's using, but I would definitely say yes. He probably needs some type of medication. A little wouldn't hurt nobody. A little herb. But honestly, it's a stressful job, and some people just sign up for it for the paycheck. So once again, I give all the kudos and blessings to the teachers who were born to do it, who dedicate their time, who spend their own money on supplies and stuff, because teachers are underpaid. And these people that just get a job because they need a job, that wasn't born to do it, this is why they're on, because they stressed out because they wasn't born to do it. Just like being a doctor, or some things people are born to do, and some people just do it for the money.
Now, a lot of doctors are on them.
Yeah, and a lot of doctors.
They be working them long hours, and they be high in a kite. That's why y'all be in the emergency room worse than what you came in with.
Right, and they got access to the good drugs, honey. They got the real fentanyl in the hospital. And let me tell you something.
Fentanyl is.
I'm sorry, that was a gnat. But listen, let me tell you something, honey. I had a sciatic nerve issue a couple of years ago, and I could not sit. Like when that nerve would hit, I would have to stand up. If I was driving, I would have to throw my car in park, get out my car and stand up. I could not bend my body. Honey, I went to Kaiser, and they gave me a drug called Dilaudid. Baby, let me tell you something.
What's that?
I would call it, they should call it heaven. Because when I tell you, they gave me that Dilaudid in my IV. So they shot it in my arm in my hand. They shot it in my hand through an IV. Soon as it went in my hand, I've had a sensation in my feet. And from that sensation in my feet, it traveled all the way up my body to my head. And it was like a chill in a good way. And every pain that I had left me. And when I tell you I was high as a kite, If they sold Dilaudid on the streets, I would be buying it. So I'm glad they don't. That's all I'm gonna say. So, addiction is very a lot of people say, oh, I'll never be addicted. I would never do that. Well, don't ever try it, because the bottom line is you try something, you might get addicted. And it ain't just this other stuff too. Trust me.
Food, chocolate.
Yeah, like I think
toxic stuff like men. Yeah.
Yeah, and just to piggyback on what you said about addiction, addiction is like really serious, and depending on the cause, addiction can lead to somewhere uncertain, especially something like because like you can die of because uh, drugs can be very fatal. They really can be. I mean, that's why I don't want to take them. I mean, I've been seeing some people around my age smoke, drink, but I'm pretty sure they do it occasionally. But to me, I just don't want to put myself at that risk.
Very good.
Any final thoughts?
No, I'm happy that you say that. I don't think I ever put anybody like in a bad situation other than paranoid. Because one time I did, and I got so paranoid, it was really bad. I heard voices, but once it wore off, I was fine, and I didn't again until recently. I'm just kidding. Joanne, you seem so serious about drugs until I don't.
I don't use because of a traumatic situation that I'm not going to get into details with. So and I hate the stench. I do. Let me tell you what I've told my kids. One of them, who shall remain nameless, is
my baby,
but a pothead. However, I will say that I've always told my kids, have you ever known anyone who does that's doing good? And
look at Snoop Doggy Dogg.
I asked my kids of people we know, not celebrities, not any of that, people that we actually know. Do you know anybody that's doing good? And they could never, none of them say, yeah. So I understand that there's some people who recreational use, or they're successful potheads, and there's functioning addicts who are very successful.
Oh yeah.
So I understand that, but for my kids and the average human being, I said, do you know anybody who's doing good on? And they said, everybody who we know on drugs, they're not doing too hot. So I was like, okay, so if you play with it, something might happen. Just guilty. But go on. But you know what I mean.
Yeah, totally.
And you think about the actors and entertainers recently who are getting these laced with things, and they're not just recently the female rapper, and then last year it was the talented actor. I'm old. I be forgetting everything, so I can't give you no names right now.
Me either, but I know you talk. I heard about it.
There's a situation, so you can play with. It sometimes it literally is life and death. So you just have to be very careful and aware of what you're taking. And yeah. So, but I do agree with you. It's a serious matter, but I tend to joke about a lot of things. I'm silly like that.
It's beautiful. I feel like we need to joke about some things because a lot of things we cannot control in this world. And I'm so sorry. I have gnats in this house and I don't know where they came from. So every now and then, I'm sorry, I have to slap one. But anyway, because I'm so irritated, I had a glass of wine that was sitting, waiting on me. And as soon as I grabbed it, it had gnats in it, like disgusting. Like, I don't know where they came from. And they're little tiny gnats. But if I had, I would be at them right now because I'm so irritated. But anyway, I definitely agree with you, Eve. This world is so corrupt right now until we don't know what's going on. And some people are just living day by day because they cannot consume a year's worth of life. They can't consume the next 2 weeks. So they just have to live for the moment, And I hope that, this podcast is entertaining enough. And it also consumes a lot of good topics. And I really commend you, Joanne, for, writing and preparing and, writing the script for this podcast and doing all of that. And then allowing me and the Wondering Eye Eve to be on this, because Eve and I, we are big bullshitters too. I hope I can say that word, bullshitters. We bullshit a lot, but we do take. Okay, but we do respect you. We respect you and your time and effort and how serious you are about this podcast. And I think we are the best two that could blend with you. Because, like right now, Joanne, you have a serious look on your face, like you're not even smiling. There we go. Okay, good. And the bottom line is we do. But to go back to say, you never know what people are thinking about. You don't know what's on other people's minds. I don't judge people who are on drugs because I believe drugs is a sickness. And when they get addicted to it, because they are running from something, they are getting that high so they don't have to think about certain things. And people in this world have been through so much, especially men. And men don't like to talk about stuff that they go through. So what they do is self-medicate so they could be numb, so they could just go to sleep and sleep well and wake up to face tomorrow. So I think I don't condone drugs. I don't, but I understand why some people use drugs. And I'm sorry to bore you, Joanne, because you're yawning. If you feel like
I was just checking.
Okay. But anyway, we can go ahead and move on to the next subject. I'm so sorry. I just want to mention that. Okay. Up next, rapper Cardi B has been given until March 1st of this year to complete her 15-day community service. According to the People, Cardi B pleaded guilty in September to 2 felonies charges of in a third degree and reckless endangerment. That came in connection with a flight back in 2018. Her deadline was this past Tuesday, but out of the days she had for this service, she completed none of them. The New York Times and TMZ claimed that the incident took place in August 2018 when Cardi B allegedly ordered on 2 female bartenders at Angel Strip Club after assuming that one of them was having an with her husband Offset. Sources close to Cardi previously denied that she was involved in this attack in accordance with TMZ. Both women declined to receive medical treatment after being reportedly injured during a brawl. What are your thoughts on this incident almost 5 years ago, in addition to Cardi B's extension?
I just want to say a couple of things. One, every time I think of this topic, I think of an alleged fight between Cardi B and Nicki Minaj back in 2018. I don't know for sure if Cardi was actually fighting Nicki Minaj, but I think it was just alleged. It was alleged that Cardi B was was fighting Nicki Minaj. I mean, I don't know for sure if that happened, but I've been hearing some sources saying that they actually did beat each other up, or they're most of them saying that they didn't. That Nicki Minaj wasn't involved in the fight. She was just standing, minding her business. Also, are we going to talk about how Sherry Shepherd reacted of how she showed up to court?
Who showed up to court?
Cardi B.
Oh.
This is how she showed up in court.
Oh, that was on the Sherry Shepherd show?
Yes. Yes, everyone's been talking about how she showed up in a white long fur coat and a white dress and white heels. But yeah, that's how she.
And I like it. First of all, she's Cardi B. Second of all, just because she is a millionaire, a multimillionaire, she's still a human being, and she's dealing with Offset, which is, I'm sure, a toxic, loving relationship and a mind fuck. Excuse my French. So when you're in that industry and you rap about certain things, and you're in that thing, and you're talking about guns, you're rapping about guns, you're rapping about sex, you're rapping about toxic relationships, like the things that you rap, the tongue is very powerful. And when you put those words on your tongue, you become that person. So listening to all that type of stuff, I can see her being in a brawl at the strip club. Demonic spirits is real. And when you're around all that fast life, I'm serious. When you're around the fast life, the drugs, the strippers, the sex, the lyrics to the content to the rap songs and all that kind of stuff, you begin to be in this vibe. And that's why a lot of these artists have therapists, because they have to stand away from it and woosah. But when you're around it all the time and you rapping about violence and you rapping about this and you rapping about that, you're going to be about that. You're going to be about that. And that goes back to Megan. That's a whole nother story. But I'm saying they just live in it, and Cardi B is an authentic, she's an authentic roughneck. So she's not a fake. A lot of people that has made it today, they're fake gangsters and they rap about gangster shit, but it's not really, they're not really about that life. Cardi B is really about that life. So I get it. And her showing up in her fur and all of that, I loved it. I live for it. See, I'm from Richmond, California, so we know all about it. And I'm not saying it's right, but I'm just saying I understand it. Did I answer your question?
Yes. Eve, what are your thoughts?
She's rich.
Boom.
So she has nice clothes.
That part.
I wouldn't expect her to show up first of all, I don't have an expectation of Cardi B. She's neither friend, nor foe, no relative. I don't know her.
Are you a fan?
I have no expectation of her, but just knowing her wealth and a little bit, seeing her in interviews and listening to some of her music, I wouldn't expect her to show up any other kind of way except for fabulous. I don't buy her clothes. I don't dress her. I really give two shits. As far as her pleading guilty, once you plead guilty, you're considered guilty by the state. And so at the end of the day, she should have finished her community service. So I don't know all the details about it, but I think she had time to finish her community service. So I also know that she did lose a family member.
Yeah, I think it was Takeoff.
Yeah, not too long ago. So, maybe that hindered her community service. But to be honest with you, I just shared my thoughts. I don't have too much more to say. Bodak Yellow.
Are you a fan of Cardi B's?
No. I like to see her on interviews. I appreciate the way she carries herself in her, in her truth. I respect that. She seems to be highly intelligent, which I like. And doesn't pretend like she's from anywhere else than where she's from, New York. So I respect her talent. I get a kick out of her personality. I really love her intelligence. But am I a fan? No. I wouldn't say that. But I do listen to her music. I will bop to it, but I'm not a fan per se. I just enjoy her as a rapper. But I really do. I'm more like, I like Nicki a lot.
I love Nicki Minaj as well.
Yeah,
Me too.
I also like Lotto too.
I don't know.
Lotto?
And I don't get involved in any of their, I don't take their whatever's going on between them.
I think the rapper Lotto.
Huh?
I think you were talking about the rapper Lotto. I was letting her know that you were talking about the rapper Lotto.
Yes.
And she doesn't know who she is. I think if I rap one of her songs, I think she'll become familiar with her, but I can't really rap or sing it due to copyright reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you can. You just don't have to put her music on, because I don't know who Lotto is. I know Cardi B and definitely know Nicki Minaj.
She used to go. She goes by Big Lotto now, but she used to go by Lotto.
Mulatto. She goes by Mulatto, and now she changed her name to Lotto. And if you listen to, and if you're wondering why you're hearing that sample, "Fantasy" by Mariah Carey, she wrote a song called "Big Energy."
Oh yeah, I love Big Energy. Oh, that's Lotto. Oh yeah, I do love her.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, if there aren't any final thoughts, I guess that's it for the re-record.
Okay. Did you mention to everyone that this is a re-record, so we have a different look right now? The Wandering Eye Eve is not in her burgundy lipstick, and I changed my hair. I got on the same top, but I changed my hair.
Emily Ratajkowski comes to Taylor Swift's defense. Up next, model Emily Ratajkowski defends singer Taylor Swift after an old clip of former talk show host Ellen DeGeneres, who interviewed Swift back in 2012 on her now canceled show. In a recent TikTok video, it shows a clip from 2012 of DeGeneres playing a slideshow of photos with Taylor Swift and men she was associated with romantically, such as Taylor Lautner and Justin Bieber. According to Elle, DeGeneres demanded Swift to admit who she's writing her songs about. Swift said that she doesn't want to because she would get angry emails. Swift tells Ellen to stop as it continues in an interview with Zane Lowe in Apple Music Beats One. Swift talks about how when she was younger, people were reducing her to who she dated. And as she claimed, it's a way to take a woman who is doing her job and succeeding at doing her job and making things. And in a way, it's figuring out how to completely minimize that skill. I mean, you getting all them men, that's some kind of skill. Oh, never mind. Emily commented on the video claiming this is so fucked up. She literally begging her to stop. Now, guys, what are your thoughts about this video of Ellen interviewing Taylor Swift back from over a decade ago? And do you think she was wrong for what she did?
I'm going to start off by saying this. No hate against Ellen DeGeneres. Before I continue on, I do want to remind the viewers watching, not to send any hate to anyone we mentioned in our episodes. Our purpose is to only report on the news and give insight to this information. But I think as a talk show host, I will say this. If someone says stop, then you should stop. I'm going to just say it like that. What about you, Shay? What are your thoughts?
I think it depends on what's going on. You know what I mean? Taylor Swift and them, I mean, come on, they're entertainers. It's just not that serious to me. Like, people just really take stuff too serious these days. It's like, you can't do anything without being fucking sued. It's like, goddamn, like, it's okay. It's no big fucking deal. Now, some things are, and some things are very, hurtful or, triggers people, but I would have to watch the video. Honestly, I haven't seen the video. So if I watch the video, maybe we can talk about this next episode, maybe touch on it a little bit, but I wouldn't give a fat rat's ass, to tell you the truth.
But I get what you're saying, but I think Ellen's been through like so many toxicity with her former co-host back in 2020. So, to see more resurface, especially with her show being canceled, it's just really crazy. It really is to see more toxic situations with Ellen and her team. Like, for example, back a few months ago, Ellen was recently called out by Grayson Chance. I don't know the full story. I think I forgot, but Grayson Chance felt like Ellen didn't help him. I could be wrong. I don't know the entire story for sure, or I don't know, or I recently don't know the show.
I know a little bit about that story, and I mean, he can feel how he wants to feel. I do think she helped him because I only know of his existence because of Ellen, and yeah. So sometimes you do something for someone and then they just want more and more and more and more. I'm not saying that about the young man, of course, because I don't know him from a can of paint. And he did, the little bit I do know of him, he is very talented, back when I saw him and all. But back to the subject at hand. Taylor Swift is allowed to feel how she feels.
Exactly.
And he's allowed to tell people to stop. And as long as they're not touching her or whatever, I'm not down with that.
Right.
Ellen is a comedian, and she did agree to be on the show, and Ellen is a great comedian. So, and comedians cut up.
Right.
They cut up.
Yes.
And I mean, it's just par for the course, but I'm sorry if she was hurt by it.
Wait, which one was hurt? I'm sorry. Was it Ellen or Taylor hurt?
It's Taylor hurt.
Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift was hurt. And and I understand what she's saying, like Taylor Swift, I mean, she's gorgeous, she's intelligent, savvy businesswoman, brilliant songwriter. I mean, hey, I'm not mad at I have a major respect for Taylor, but again, and she can be hurt if she wants to be hurt, and I respect her perspective. I also can see Ellen DeGeneres side of it too. Hey, you came on my show, we're gonna make fun because I'm a comedian and we make fun of people. Like, I've watched the show, they make fun of people. You get what I'm saying? It's like if you go to a comedy show,
I see, but
like in the front seat. But let me finish. It's like if you go to a comedy show and you sit in the front seat, and the comedian says, "Hey, you know who you look like? You look like the jackal from the Lion King with that lazy eye of yours." I'm not gonna be hurt. I got a lazy eye, and I'm not tripping because you know why? because I bought a ticket to your show. So I'm supporting you.
Yeah.
And I'm still cute with this lady. Whatever.
Yeah. To piggyback off what Eve's saying, yes, comedians can be funny. I mean, Ellen DeGeneres is a comedian, but to me, at the same time, I feel like there comes like at a situation where we basically need to be careful of what we say, if you know what I mean, because, and that's just me from my personal point of view, because like you never know how someone might be affected by this situation, you know? And I think Ellen, back in 2020, when the 18th season was renewed, when the 18th season premiered, she did apologize for her toxic behavior. And to be honest, that's really all she could do is to admit that she was wrong for her past doings. And she apologized. And just like I said, that's all she could do, really.
That's fine. I am definitely an Ellen DeGeneres fan, and she doesn't, to me, seem like the type of person who would purposely hurt somebody's feelings. She's a sweetheart. She gives a lot. Like, she's done a lot for people. I love her style. I think she's funny. I love her haircut. I love the way she dressed, her swag and all. And Taylor Swift, the same. I love her too. But, you know, every now and then, females sometimes be in a mood, and you never know what got on her nerves earlier the day before or whatever, and people get triggered. But we move on.
You didn't say nothing about no females being in the mood, because some of these
men be in a mood too.
Some of these men, some of these them, some of these women, some of these, you know, however you want to identify yourself, purple people eater. Y'all act like y'all got cycles every month or every other week. So, girl, don't be putting that on women. I just have to speak up for the women.
I didn't mean to say it like that. You're right, because you're totally right. But I meant to say, you know, sometimes, you know, it just never, who knows? I should have made me some tea. Is that tea?
Chai tea latte.
Yes, it is.
I should have made me some tea either.
Oh, and this is the tea. Okay, so shall we move on?
Yes.
Okay.
If you want to.
Okay. Allison Hoker shares emotional video to pay tribute to Twitch. Oh, this is beautiful. Up next, dancer Allison Hoker pays tribute to her late husband, Stephen Boss, known as Twitch. In an emotional video to her late husband on Instagram, as many of you know, this past month, Twitch tragically in a Los Angeles motel room close to his home. According to Yahoo Entertainment, law enforcement found a note that made reference to prior difficult battles, but the contents have not been made to the public yet. Allison shared a heartfelt tribute on her Instagram, sharing, "To my husband, best friend, babe, Chalker, Superman, and father of my children. I love you forever and always. We will forever remember you as a true beacon of light that you were and will continue to cast your light and love throughout the world. Thank you for our incredible memories and our beautiful life shared together." Twitch was known for being a competitor on So You Think You Can Dance, DJ and co-executive producer on now canceled talk show, The Ellen DeGeneres Show. Yeah. Guys, what are your thoughts on what Allison posted, and how did you react to Twitch's passing?
I'll start. I remember using the bathroom, going to Instagram, and I saw Ellen's former executive producer, Andy, paying tribute to Twitch, and I didn't believe it at first. Like most deaths, I didn't believe that it was true. So I went to Wikipedia and the internet to be sure, and there was his death date, and I'm like, oh my God, I cannot believe it just happened. And I will never forget that moment. And Twitch has been one of the most popular dancers, and I just couldn't imagine the pain and the heartache that Allison was going through. And to this day, I can't imagine that pain. It's really heartbreaking. Eve, you want to go next?
Mm. As a person who suffers from um, it hit me hard. Years ago, I had a plan, and I was going to, and I had two, I had three children. I have three children, but I had two of my children were young, and I was planning, and I went over to a friend who happened to live next door, and it was kind of going to be like my goodbye to her, but she wasn't going to know it. But it was just going to be a nice moment that she could remember me by, and um, she was very shaken up and she was upset, and she was upset because she had just discovered her friend who had in the garage,
Oh my God.
and she was so devastated by that. And I sat there in my mind because I said, I can't, this is so unbelievable. Just here, this is what I'm planning on doing. And she found someone and she is so torn up. And seeing her pain made me realize I don't want to cause that pain to anybody else.
I never knew this.
Neither do I.
And so what I'm saying to people in this moment, even though I'm a character and even though I laugh a lot and I can make people laugh, or I can be like moody and grumpy, and people think like, oh, you have beautiful children, you have a home, you have a car, you have a husband, you don't miss a meal. At the end of the day, a lot of times people who suffer from they walk the world masking. So I can't tell you that I was shocked. I didn't know him and I didn't know he was suffering. But when the announcement was made that he had passed on, and then it was by his own hand, then I was like, I identified with him because he's a person who masks it well, because that's how we have to move in the world. We have to mask it. You have to mask it because people, you don't want to, you don't want to put that on others. And then sometimes you just don't get tired of the things that are going on in your head and the sadness that's in your head, or the pain or the trauma that you experience that you keep on reliving. And I don't know his specific situation. I don't pretend to. I just know that people who suffer from and ideation, um, we mask a lot.
Yeah, I will say that. I think I remember, and this is going to be off topic. I remember back when COVID first came and then we were all locked down. I was suffering from a lot of depression and anxiety. And I had my moments because like we couldn't even go out at all. We couldn't go to the movie theater. We couldn't go to school. And I was enjoying those things, and to seeing it being taken that away from me really, really, really hit me. And I wasn't suicide. I didn't feel normal I ever will. But I was feeling like but I was like suffering from like anxiety. I had like a lot of anxiety, but and I think I was still finishing up my last year of community college around that time. We had a virtual graduation, but but I do know, and I can't imagine how it feels for other people who are going through the situation. And I had no idea that Twitch was going through something until we heard the news of his passing, um, and he inspired millions of people, and it really and I just know in my heart that he will forever be missed. What God bless his soul.
Yes, God bless his soul. Yeah. And I'm so thankful that, Eve, that you decided to go to your friend's house. That was nobody but God.
I believe that.
Nobody but God. I am so thankful to that, because I couldn't even imagine. And you know, I am your sister, honey. So you always need to talk to me as well. But I'm very proud of the strength you have to keep going. And basically, you are a living testimony for others. And we probably need to touch on that subject more for people who go through the same thing, because you could save a life or two or three.
Right.
That's a big deal.
And I was watching, and I remember I was watching the Sherry Shepherd show that people need more. There may be people who may need more than just a hello or how you're doing. Like, they need to like conversate with them, then listen to their stories, because there are like people who are going through something that we know absolutely zero about. And I think it's very important to keep close with your loved ones, especially to the people who are dealing with addiction. It can be a really, really, really tough road for them. So just please keep close with your loved ones, everyone, and just let them know you love them.
Right. I think as far as Trick is concerned, and his beautiful wife, Allison, and their kids, you know, and you know, all their family and friends and people who knew them, I just think that I know it's devastating to her. And I know that, you know, the kids will miss out on having a loving father who, you know, adored them. I just really, it's really sad, but you know, I'm praying for her and the children and all the people who loved him. And I'm just grateful that we got to see him. You know, I only knew of him from So You Think You Can Dance, and then his other projects that he was working on. But as an entertainer, he brought so much joy and brought so much joy and lightness, you know, light to the world by sharing his talent and his art form with us. So, you know, I'll be forever grateful to him, and I hope he's resting in peace, and that's my take on it.
Yeah, there have been like millions of people and millions of inspirations, but I'm gonna end it like this. I know that there will never be another Twitch.
Definitely.
Most definitely. Well, on behalf of the Bubble Chat, we send Allison and her entire family condolences during this healing and trying time, as this is a reminder that we never know what someone is going through. So if you or someone you know is in crisis, please dial the National and Crisis Lifeline at 988. Text strength to the crisis text line at 741-741, or go to 988lifeline.org. We will be right back.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Bubble Chat. By now, I'm sure everyone is aware of what happened to elementary school teacher Abigail Warner. On Friday, January 6th, Abigail Warner was a 6-year-old student. The teacher is being named a hero who saved students' lives by escorting the students out of the classroom, even though she was wounded. According to NBC News, Newport News Police Chief Steve Drew claimed that the child displayed firearm and there was no intention of physical struggle or fight. No students were injured in this incident, and the 6-year-old was taken into custody. Drew claims that the police consulted with numerous agencies such as the Commonwealth Attorney's Office and Services for Children's Welfare. A temporary detention order was placed on the child who was receiving treatment at a mental facility. Whether the parents of the child will be fined will be determined in a discussion with the Commonwealth Attorney's Office. The comment, excuse me. Whether the parents of the child will be fined will be determined in the discussion with the Commonwealth Attorney's Office. What are your thoughts on this tragic incident, and what do you think should be done to prevent something like this from happening again?
I think so many incidents like this has happened in the world until the school system needs to crack down on security. And I think that it's sad to say, like, a lot of innocent kids go to school and you never, would imagine such things. But you still have to know that this is the type of stuff that goes on. So I think they should have, those surveillance, what do you call those things when
surveillance cameras?
Not the surveillance cameras. I'm sorry. The
metal detectors.
Metal detectors and all that kind of stuff. And they need to check backpacks and stuff when kids come to school. It should be
absolutely.
You just never know what's going on at the schools. And I know a lot of parents probably would be offended for somebody to check your child's backpack. But what if your child was a victim? You would have wished that the little 6-year-old backpack would have been checked.
Yeah, I 1,000,000% agree with you. I definitely do think that there needs to be, like, they do need to check their backpacks 1,000,000%, but also host a meeting, like have a meeting about why are never okay to use, because we've been getting so many news about.
Right, which is very sad. But my thoughts on it is this. I don't know what's going on with the kid. So I'm not going to say he's bad. He just did a bad thing. Now, unless he found that on the street, I think his parents should definitely be charged with child endangerment and child neglect. A 6-year-old, 6-year-old is either kindergarten, depending on when you were born, or first grade.
I think 6-year-old there is the first grade, probably.
Yeah, but sometimes you turn 6 when you're in kindergarten. Just depends when your birthday is. But neither here nor there. Elementary kid, a middle school kid, let alone an elementary school kid, should never have access to a gun
at all.
And so there's some definite neglect and child endangerment involved there. And so CPS, social services, and the law should be involved. Whatever healing and help the child needs, I hope he gets it. And as far as the teacher, I commend her after getting injured that she kept her wits about her, and she guided the other students to safety and kept them out of harm's way. She's definitely a hero, and she's definitely an example of an outstanding teacher who cares about the students that she teaches. So I hope she has a full recovery.
Same. And I think, so I really, really hope that this situation never happens again. They should the teachers should be facing some accountability of what their student is, of what their child is doing, 1,000,000%. And also I hope that they'll also educate their students of why bringing was never okay. Because I remember hearing this millions of times going from the 4th grade to the 12th grade about, and and why it's never okay to bring it to school. I never bring. It's just when it comes to Allison's situation, I can't imagine what her reaction when she was getting wounded by that student, and the fact that he's only 6 years old. Of course, the parents should be responsible for what their child is doing in school or what their child is bringing.
Okay. I concur.
Any last thoughts, Shay?
No, I'll just be praying for everybody. I just wanted to mention that we may need to wrap things up and continue the next subjects on our next podcast, being that it's gotten late and we were a little, late from the start. So I think we should close and then come back next week with the rest.
Well, can we do Angela Bassett? We just got to talk about somebody Black.
Okay, I'll do Angela Bassett.
And then I'll just end up with my last topic, and then I'll just enter my last topic and we'll call it a day.
Okay. Angela Bassett took home Golden Globe. Up next, actress Angela Bassett took home an award for Best Supporting Actress at the 2023 Golden Globes for her role of Queen Ramonda in Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. In accordance with a previous interview with The Hollywood Report, Bassett revealed that she used her grief over the loss of her late Chadwick Boseman and channeled that loss into her character's loss of her son, King T'Challa. This year marked the return of the Golden Globes after a recent controversy submerged the Hollywood Foreign Press Association when a Los Angeles Times article exposed that the organization lacked Black members and had engaged in financial practices and immoral conduct. While giving her acceptance speech, she spoke about how she and the cast were surrounded each and every day by Boseman's light and spirit. Beautiful.
Very beautiful.
Absolutely. What are your thoughts about the acceptance speech, Eve?
Well, one, I thought it was a master's class in class and elegance, connection to her community, and the remembrance of Chad and his talent. And it just was a beautiful speech. She looked, oh my God,
amazing.
She looked fabulous. I mean, she looked amazing.
Honey,
I mean,
her hair, her makeup, her dress, her everything.
Everything. But
and
her
she looked
talent
so good.
Her talent is just so incredible and amazing. You know, I've been watching her since Boys in the Hood back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was in Boys in the Hood. And she was I can't think of the character's name, but she was Cuba Gooding's mother. And
I didn't know she was from Boys
Boys in the Hood, was it Akilah the Bee?
Yes.
That's Love Got to Do With It. London Has Fallen. You know, I can go on and on about the movies my girl been in. But
that's when I first discovered. Oh.
But I believe she deserved that award because when I watched that movie, and she said, and when she was, terminating, and old girl from the, general, she was dismissing her, and she was like, she was hurt. She was like, I've given my life. And she was like, and have I not given everything? I said, I got chills. I was like, oh my God. Angela, she bad. And she's bad.
She's amazing.
She's
I think
one of our
I
greatest.
watched.
She's up there with Viola. She's up there with Sydney, Portier. She's up there,
Denzel.
She's up there with Denzel, but I mean, she's just one of the baddest in the game, and
The baddest.
She can go toe to toe with Meryl Streep, all them, Kate Blanchett, whatever. She's bad.
No, she is bad.
That's
and
I mean,
my favorite scene, my favorite movie with Angela Bassett, I hate to say it, is when she was in that limousine and she kicked her and Ike was fighting and they stopped that car and she ran across that street to that hotel.
Oh, that was that she did that. But my favorite that I think outside of Wakanda in that moment, I think my second favorite scene from her is from Waiting to Exhale.
Mm-hmm.
When she got that wagon and she
I remember when I think she was
that stuff about that wagon.
She was like, get your shit and get out. Oh my gosh, I remember. I was curious.
And baby, when she put that stuff on fire and smoked that cigarette, walking off, she bad.
Yeah, and
but even to get into her characters with the singing, she knows the words. She studies.
Yeah, she does. But I love Angela, but
I love her too. I remember that she did an amazing job when I first saw the first movie, Black Panther. She played Queen Ramonda very, very well. Even Wakanda Forever. I'm not going to reveal any spoilers, but she did an amazing job overall. And I did remember her watching her play a police officer on that Fox show, 911. And you thought I shouldn't even be watching this at all. But she played a badass cop who doesn't play she doesn't play when it comes to breaking the law, and I really, really love that. I'm gonna move on to the next topic. Right now, and have Eve give her thoughts, and then you give her thoughts, and me give my thoughts because we're about to run out of time. But for our last story today, investigators were told that former Uvalde Police Chief Pete Arredondo told investigators that he believed that the students were already dead, but he decided to devote his time rescuing those children who survived during that tragic incident that took last May. He has been fired since. According to ABC News, Arredondo was sitting with the FBI just a day after 19 students and 2 teachers were at Robb Elementary School, which marks the second in history. Arredondo claimed that he issued the request via cell phone, including a 911 call to communicate with dispatch, and explained that he left his radio in the car and his communication at the schools was known to malfunction before the incident ahead of his termination. Arredondo released a statement defending his actions that day. What are your guys' thoughts on Arredondo's actions, and what do you think he should have done to save those students if there were some survivors? I'm gonna start by saying this: he can defend his actions all he wants, but that's never gonna change the fact that was heard at that school at all.
Bye. You should never wear a uniform unless it got a big M on it for McDonald's. You took an oath to protect and serve. And it was your job to, if you didn't go into school to save those babies, try to save those babies. It was your job to send some people in there to save them babies. And y'all blocking parents trying to go in there to save their babies. I'm not in his shoes, but I also never took the oath, outside the Navy, and I did my job, but I never took an oath as far as a police officer to wear that badge. But if I have, then that you're putting your life on the line. It's no different than a firefighter. They know they got to run into the building to try to save the people or get a ladder to get the cats out of the tree. You get what I'm saying? What your job encompasses. I'm not, you took an oath to serve and protect, and you did not protect those babies. Y'all was worried about saving yourselves. And even some of the officers pulled their kids out, but you didn't get the other kids out. Like, I don't want to cuss, but that's some BS, and goodbye. And I hope nobody else hires him as a police officer, not even a security guard. Like I said, he should get, the only uniform he should get is the one that has a big M on it, like the Golden Arches, get you a job. No disrespect to the McDonald's employees. Thank you for my hot fries when you make it happen. But no, that's all I got to say.
He totally dropped the ball. Totally dropped the ball. And I just don't even know. It's just awful, period. And I totally agree.
And still defending himself instead of just saying, you know what, I had an error. I made an error, and I don't know, but I made an error. I was wrong. I made some poor choices that day, and I can't bring those kids back. And I'm so sorry. There's nothing I can say for myself.
Yeah, because
he's defending himself.
Even if here's the thing. Even if he did apologize, his apology is never going to bring back any of those children or those teachers who were on that incident, nor can it relieve any of the pain that the parents had to go through losing their child. And after hearing that incident, it really breaks my heart as a son of a mom and dad, as an older brother of a younger brother, as a nephew of an uncle, as a grandson of a grandmother and a grandfather. And I've been seeing millions of times this happening. I was like, especially at the fact that we're already at 10 years since the Sandy Hook Elementary School incident. I think I was 13 years old when that took place. And my issue with this is that these are law enforcement that were supposed to protect and serve, especially saving those children who are there. It's really, really sickening. And I hope to God that, and the final thing that I want to say is that I hope to the power of God that they change the law enforcement, that they change the law enforcement, and I hope to God that nothing like this ever happens again, and that the government should come up with a law to not have any purchase to those who are under 21. Because get this, when you turn 21, you right? Why be 21 and then purchase? Just a lot. And on that note, I just think we just need to do better. 1,000,000%.
Amen.
All right, that's all the topics that we have. That's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for listening. We hope we upped your morning or afternoon or night from wherever you guys are. And as always, we would love to hear from you guys. What do you guys think of the topics that we have talked about? Let us know in your review or in the comment section. Until then, and as always, subscribe to our podcast so you'll stay updated. Until then, I'm Joanne Johnson, and we'll catch you next time.
I want to say something really fast.
Sure.
I just want to thank everybody for watching. And, again, this is Shay Sugar, first time. And yeah, we're going to blend in, and I think it's going to be very good. You can follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook, comedian Shay Sugar, SHEASUGA.
Don't follow me because I'm not interested. But can we change my name?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thanks.
To
The Wandering Eye.
All right. Well, thank you so much for watching, and we hope you had And we hope we had an amazing day, and we'll catch you next time, all right? Bye, guys.